price of Bitcoin experienced its biggest jump yet in 2021 to over 15% Monday, and it hit a new all-time high of above $44,000 as electric car company Tesla Incorporated revealed it's purchased $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin to ensure what they termed as, and I quote, more flexibility to further diversify and maximize returns on our cash, end quote. According to records by the Securities and Exchange Commission, Tesla also announced that it had plans to start accepting the cryptocurrency as a form of payments for its services and products, joining what is now becoming a long list of institutions to make Bitcoin a mainstream payment method. The development follows Elon Musk's recent social media campaign that has seen the surge of some cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ether, Ripple's XRP, and Dogecoin. Now, this as Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey also recently set up his own Bitcoin node. And late last year, his payments company Square Incorporated bought $50 million in Bitcoin, with the People's Bank of China also announcing that it would release about $1.5 million as a tryout of the central bank's digital currency dubbed yuan. Good. This morning, therefore, to help us understand this recent jump in the price of Bitcoin, we're joined by David Gitonga, the managing editor, Bitcoin KE, and Alice Anangi, who is the founder, Zidane Technologies, and a crypto trainer as well. David, let me start with you, and I want to start from this point as well. I know you're a big fan of Elon Musk. What power does he possess? Let's begin from there.
Thanks, Simba. So I think what has happened is Elon Musk is obviously well known. He recently was, I think he was listed as the richest man in the world.
Yes.
So his influence is obviously quite remarkable. So by him coming out and saying that Tesla has bought about $1.5 billion in Bitcoin, that obviously will have an effect on the market. So what we saw is immediately that announcement was made, Bitcoin shot up, but then it eventually retraced slightly. But that in itself also gives more credibility to Bitcoin. So, a company like Tesla coming out and saying, we've invested in Bitcoin, we will accept Bitcoin as payment in future, tells the world, and especially other institutions, that this is an asset maybe you need to take another look at.
Yes. All right, let me bring in Alice Anangi this morning as well. Alice, I mean, we've been together. You and I have been talking about what sort of started to be the biggest drive for Bitcoin since last year up to now. I mean, we were not expecting to see a jump to 44K, but Elon Musk sort of tweeted about it, and all of a sudden, we did see exactly where the price jumped up to. How do we understand that 44K? At these levels that we expect to get to now, that Elon Musk and Twitter announcing that, well, we consider this to be a mainstay for us?
Well, this let's look at it this way. These are tech companies,
Yes.
Huge tech companies, These are huge tech companies backing up a technology that they've seen clearly adds a lot of value to the society. If we look back at what happened last year, we had many institutions coming in and investing in this space, mainly because of the uncertainty that came about with the COVID pandemic. Let's start at that, And then let's not forget that as these institutions come in, who are these institutions? These institutions are also backed up by huge shareholders that are also other huge institutions, So this is causing a ripple effect, So even by Elon Musk coming in and backing up this technology, investing in Bitcoin, let's look at Tesla, who is behind Tesla? If we look at the shareholders of Tesla, we are talking about JP Morgan, we are talking about Citigroup, we are talking about Bank of America, HSBC Bank, all these are huge institutions, yeah? So this ripple effect will eventually just carry on, yeah? So as David said, this is actually an asset that people really need to pay attention to right now, yes.
All right, David, let me bring you in. There's something that Alex is mentioning, that these are tech companies. And we've seen exactly what major tech companies around the world have sort of turned in during this COVID-19 pandemic. Well, they're the ones that stood up. I mean, when the rest of the sectors around the world were reeling from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen this sort of resilience from tech companies. Are they going to be the trendsetters for Bitcoin and any cryptocurrency trend that we expect to see this year onwards?
Well, it's true. It's obviously true that their influence is being felt. Like
Yes.
Alice has said, these companies have a lot of backing behind them. They have big banks and other big corporations behind them. But also looking out beyond these tech companies, we have to realize also that Bitcoin as an asset is bigger than these companies as well.
Yes.
So, and really that's the reason why these tech companies are getting in. We've seen other companies before Tesla. Last year we had, MicroStrategy. It's still a big company that so far has invested way more than Tesla. We have other big institutions as well, BlackRock, we have MetLife. We have these institutions that have expressed interest in getting into Bitcoin, with the SEC filing and all. So again, let's look at the bigger picture. Bitcoin is bigger than these companies, and that's the reason these companies are getting in.
Yes. Alice, let's therefore ask ourselves this question. And I would ask you again, I've asked you this question. The question would be, well, it's not yet mainstream, but is the entry of Tesla, one of the biggest companies across the world as well, as you're saying, with a heavy backing as well in terms of the shareholding, is this the start of mainstreaming now for Bitcoin to the rest of the world?
Well, I would like to think so, yeah. If you hear a huge company as Tesla saying that they are actually putting plans in place to be able to accept Bitcoin as a mode of payment, yeah,
Yes.
when purchasing their products, it's a really huge thing, yeah. And not just looking at Tesla alone, yeah, we also have Visa, we have MasterCard. They are also working with some of these huge exchanges, yeah, to find solutions to be able to cash out Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, yeah, in most of their branches worldwide, yeah. So this is actually really huge. Yeah? It's not something that we can say is just fleeting and it's going to pass by. These are huge investments that are happening worldwide, and definitely it's one of the steps that we are making towards going mainstream, yes.
Well, Alice, we went to 44K. We came back again, and we've seen that same trend, especially this year, even when we're talking about the biggest jumps, even in early January, when we're talking about that biggest jump as well. Are we introducing a new price for Bitcoin in this latest jump? Is that what we're saying? That we might go back, but don't expect us to go back to where we've been before?
Well, this is the market. Yeah, I cannot predict the 100% certainty what will happen in future.
Yes.
But for sure, we have a lot of backing from these institutions that give us very strong levels of support that are on the higher level. Yeah.
Yes.
Currently, we are in a bull market. For any normal market, yeah, any strong functioning market, every time there is a jump, yeah, like 100% jump on the price, we should expect about a 61% retracement, yeah, which will bring back the price to a lower level of support, which will actually give it more strength to shoot back up, yeah, on higher levels. That's a normal market. Otherwise, we'll have cases of pump and dumps, which is very unhealthy for markets, and we don't want that in the Bitcoin market. So yes, we do have very strong support on higher levels. So looking at it, the market actually looks very, very positive right now, and we have much more potential of getting to higher levels from where we've actually come from. Yes.
All right, David, good news for Bitcoin, especially when the likes of Tesla and Twitter are saying, well, for us, this is a mainstream. But let's talk about what this movement has done. Meanwhile, Ether is also hitting records and assets that we have never seen before. Can you talk to me about this ripple effect that we're talking about? Is it Elon Musk's ripple effect, or it is what we expect now with more focus on cryptocurrencies?
Yes, so now with the growth of Ether, this is quite expected, because what happens is when Bitcoin rises, some people will take profits.
Yes. So,
and when they take profits, they are obviously going to reinvest those profits somewhere else. And Ether or Ethereum tends to be the place where people will move into. It's the second largest cryptocurrency in the world. So that's one of the things driving Ether. Another thing that's driving Ether is the explosion of decentralized finance. So in other words, it's called DeFi. So this DeFi boom, what has happened is Ether becomes the asset that's being used to power this decentralized ecosystem. And as a result, obviously, because of this use case, the price of Ether will go up. Now, when you compound it with the fact that people are taking profits and getting into Ether as well, you'll obviously start seeing, all-time highs being hit every other week, and that's what we've been seeing.
Pretty much. And it's clear for us, this conversation this morning, is that a trend that we expect to see? Do you agree with David that, well, there's also going to be a focus now on other cryptocurrencies going by how Bitcoin has been performing? Or should we just talk about Bitcoin being the strongest and that will be the focus for it?
Well, yes, I actually do agree with David. When we look at now the second hugest cryptocurrency, it's Ethereum. Maybe another point I can add onto what David has mentioned is that Ethereum is actually the main cryptocurrency and the technology behind smart contracts. So those of us in the blockchain space and people who understand how blockchain comes to solve some of the challenges that are currently existing in the ecosystem. Smart contracts is actually one of the ways that we'd be able to solve some challenges that are being experienced in the legal system. It's applicable in so many medical systems, so many different areas. So people who are aware of this actually jumping into investing in this kind of technology. Ethereum is also the technology, the blockchain behind this kind of technology. So many people are coming to investing into it, and then the other applications also, DeFi and the likes. So there are many assets. If we look at cryptocap.com, we have over 8,400 assets. All these have their use cases. So people are coming in and diversifying their portfolio.
Pretty much. Alice Anangi, founder Zidane Technologies, and also a crypto trainer, and David Gitonga, managing editor, Bitcoin KE. Thank you very much for taking your time this morning to speak to Metropole Television. Always a pleasure to have you around.
Thank you so much, Simba.
Thank you, Simba.
All right,
Thank you.
on that note, we come to the end of Metropole's Business AM Business.